We all know crypto got rocked on Friday for 19 billion in liquidations in a single day. After Trump's 100% tariff on China, Bitcoin crashed down to 102,000. Good luck getting any down there. That was complete manipulation. We all know that. Ethereum dropped below, actually, Ethereum dropped 6%. XRP down over 20%. But the real question is, will there be a contagion, or are we setting up for the next relief rally? Welcome back, Crypto Crew. It is your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in Bitcoin and crypto action. If you like what you see, give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to dig down deep today, so get your coffee, get the beverage of your choice, and make sure you come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. Okay, we're going to get into the nitty gritty today. We're going to start to think like an institutional desk. Okay, now we all know that retail chases candles, institutional desk, they look at flows, they look at basis points, they look at liquidity, they trade the plumbing, not the panic. And we're going to teach you that today. We're going to get into the nitty gritty. So just strap in, we're going to take our time with this. I have to actually take my time with it because I really don't want to miss anything of any importance. And let me tell you how I came to the idea to do this today, just so you understand, because I like to bloviate, right? I like to talk a lot, but really what I want to really do is get down into what the thinking was. Last night, when I first started to look down at the Bitcoin charts, I'm looking at the 2-hour chart going, okay, what am I going to tell the crew tomorrow? How am I going to basically explain to them that we have to be patient with this? We're actually in a rebuilding stage. And my natural inclination was to do what I always did as far as if I was, running a desk. What would I look at? Well, I would look at uh, stocks, crypto stocks. I would look at funds, ETFs. I would look at all the different bigger components to this whole thing, because we can't only just look at like what the candles are doing, short term. We have to really look at certain things. We have to map out liquidity. We got to follow the money, spot versus perpetual contracts. We got to look at that, because rising spot share of volume and falling funding equal healthy accumulation. So we also have to look at funding rates. So we're going to do all this. We're going to take it piece by piece. And I've actually come to the conclusion that, hey, we're fine. And I know people are going to be like, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, we are. We're fine. And I'm going to show you that piece by piece how we are fine. So I'm going to give you a $200,000 university education in like, say, 40 minutes. Okay. You can thank me later. So get your number 2 pencil out. Let's first go over the short term points in Bitcoin, and then we'll get into the woods a little bit about exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay. So we're going to pull up the 2-hour chart. I readjusted the pitchfork because we had a mess on our last pitchfork, but it's the same thing. What I did was I ran down to I'm going to show you exactly what I did so you can understand what I did here. All right. Let me pull this down. I went down to the recent low, or not the recent, but the further low down at 98,360. Now, where'd you get that? Where are you coming up with that? Well, really, it should be really at 98,200. That low occurred on June 23rd, 2025. That was after we made we tested 103.72. We went up to 108. The market retraced back down to 98,200. And then we went up and we rallied past and we made the first all-time high at 123,218. So there's a logic to the reason why I'm picking these points, okay? That is really the ultimate short-term support point. Okay, so I'm working off of that point. So the pitchfork point 1 for you guys that are interested in pitchfork 1 was the low. There was the ultimate high back down to the most recent low that we had. Now, if we're looking at short-term price action, and as I said in the open, good luck if you tried to get anything down here. This was reserved for the market makers, okay? They ran this price down. If on this this chart had happened. So they ran this price down and they took people out at that price. But I want you to notice something on this. The first clue that this was this complete manipulation was the spike down and then the rebound, the quick rebound, the close on this bar closed at 113,451. That was a complete. I want to curse so much on here and use like verbalizations to make my point. But YouTube, I don't want to do that. I want to basically be clean for YouTube. So if the kids are around while you're watching it, they don't hear any really bad language. So I'm biting my tongue here. I'm actually shelving my chief dealer vernacular to try to be cleaner here. So this first spike down and then the reversal in the close at 113,451 was the first clue that, holy smokes, did they run stops or did they run stops? So as it stands right now, we have support. We have support at a couple of areas, okay? We got support at, hang on, let me see my charts here. Let me see my notes here. All right. Okay, Bitcoin wicked at 102K, rebounded to 113. That was the first. So I just went over there. Now, we got support really sitting at 109,000. And there's actually a lower support, a more important support at 108.7. Okay, so it's very, very close. But I'm sorry, here. I'm so stupid. I put it here so I wouldn't forget. Main support sits really at 108,749 short term. Now, if we break that, we got a flush we could have down to 105, 107, and then a bounce, right? But right now, it's held so far. Now, scenario one is we hold above this 108.7, 108, 109,000 level, and we could get a bounce upward towards the main resistance at 118. But there's a lot of resistance before that. Okay, now I'm going to point you to the way I look at this. Okay, we had this spike down, total manipulation. Then we had the close of the bar at 113. Now look, this next 2 hours was kind of a key. Okay, we made it to 114,807 and then traded downward towards the main support that I had. Now, so let's just open this up so we can look at this better. We can actually see the point I'm looking at. This point is very, very important short term because this was the high that was made after this total manipulation down at 102. So that point is very, very important. It was the high that was made. Market rejected that price. This was all, again, I believe, short-term traders like, like Amos Hostetler said it once best. If you're in a position and it's not going well at the moment, what he would famously say is, never mind the cheese, get me out of the trap. And this is basically what the short-term traders were saying at this point. Never mind the cheese, get me out of the trap. So they dumped and they pushed it down. I believe they made a huge error. So this is the first important resistance level that we have to get through, 114.8. I do believe that we will get there. We're going to be looking at liquidity levels too in a second. But we got little liquidity pools right now sitting at like 115,000, 116.5. Really, we got to remember that that line in the sand at 115.7 that we used to allude to all the time, like don't close below 115.7. So instead of using 116, let's use 115.7. So let's put those levels up just for us to have as a reference point. So let's go down to right there, 115.750. So right now, I would say Bitcoin is trading in between these 2 points right now. It is Sunday, so you can basically say that it's going to be quiet. It's probably going to be trading between these 2 points right now in order basically to reconsolidate. And if we can reclaim this, say Monday, okay, it's a good sign that the recovery could happen sooner than later. If we break down through this low, we're actually drifting down to that 105, 106. Remember the old 106 level that we had? Okay, that level is still in play. Now, let's start thinking like an institutional desk. And I'm actually going to have to pause this to get my thoughts in order. I don't want to be too bouncy with it. Okay, so hang on a second. You won't even know I'm gone. Now, this section is a little lesson for the short-term traders. So for some of you that are more, have a lot more skill, it's going to be a review. For others, it might be completely unique. But when you're on an institutional desk, now I trade Forex, and obviously I traded before Bitcoin even existed, right? I was on a desk I left in 2003, so retired supposedly, but I have to trade for myself, all right? So, but anyway, so as it stands right now, with the way I look at Bitcoin is like you can mark you can map out the liquidity. They actually show you the liquidity levels. It's pretty unique, you know. We didn't see this on the Forex desk. On the Forex desk, we actually had to look at our customer orders, where their buy orders were and where their sell orders were. So what do you think that we did? We do the same thing that's happening in Bitcoin. We target the levels. Okay, we try to drive the price up to where they want to, buy, give it to them, ducks a quack and feed them, drive the price down, let the market actually ebb and flow. Market comes back down. We scoop at a lower price. We make a profit. And, look, the price went there, so we executed the customer order. Same thing on the downside. We know where we're actually looking to get out, or they're looking to sell. We'll drive price down there. We'll actually execute the order. We'll let the market ebb and flow again, and we'll take the market up and sell it, make a profit, right? That's basically what happens. So if you're looking at the liquidity levels, same exact thing. So you can mark the prior highs and lows, weekly levels, and obvious stop pools, okay? Ask yourself, where does price force the most trapped inventory to puke? So now if you're looking at the downsides, you can actually see, like if we're looking at this liquidity map, like we can come down to this at like 109. We said that we got support down there, right? We know the market could be driven down there, and they're going to actually, the people that short-term traders that aren't in the know, they're actually going to puke positions, and they're going to give it to bigger players, and bigger players are going to take the price back up. So that's like the next magnet price. The next upper magnet price is up, really, if we come up in here, we got the 113. I have it at like what? 114 odd, 115.7. That's where I have it. Okay, so now the details are to follow the money. Now, we can look at spot Bitcoin versus perpetual futures contracts and how you can do that. The best way to do it really is to start looking at like Grayscale, looking at iBit. I started introducing you to these shares back just a couple of days ago. I don't know if I gave myself the whammy. I talked about Backit. I talked about all these other different crypto stocks to look at, to keep an eye on. Remember I talked about this, Backit Holdings. I also, we could look at Coin, very, very important to look at. We could look at this stock right here. Hold it, let me make sure it loads up. You could look at Mara Holdings. So, and also you can look at, hang on a second here. Let me pull one up for you guys. Right here, Rio, hang on one second. Here we go. Right there, Riot Platforms, right there, important. And of course, we can look at CleanSpark. So we got a few things that we have to keep on our radar right now. Again, we can go back. You can look at Coin, right? Very, very important. We can look at Mara, M-A-R-A Holdings. We can look at Riot Platforms, and we can look at CleanSpark. Okay, those are important. And of course, we have to keep our eye on Grayscale. Okay, Grayscale and iBit. We've talked about those before. Now, the easiest way to look at flows, which equals the truth, we're looking at like iBit, ETFs, Grayscale, net asset value. Okay, I'm going to give you a crash course in this. Okay, so observations. When you have discount windows that widen greater than 20%, it's institutions, like the market interpretation for major players would be that institutions, it's like de-risking. Liquidity is trapped and it's bearish sentiment. Okay. When you get discount windows that narrow from like -20 to 0, we got arbitrage and ETF demand returning, so a bullish accumulation. So I'm going to take you someplace that I want you to look where you can look. You can look at Grayscale, and we're going to look at IBIT. So it's very, very important for us to look at this to basically figure out if we have a contagion problem. So in other words, contagion means this thing is risking to spill over into the broader context of crypto, which would be a very, very bad thing. It would mean that we're going to get hit hard. So right now, as I'm looking at this, and I said in the beginning of my video, I've come to the conclusion that we're okay right now. All right. Now, it's important. So if we move into a small premium where we're up 1 to 2%, it means that ETF inflows and demand are actually greater than supply, and it's like a fear of missing out phase building. So the pro tip here would be look at IBIT inflow and compare it to Grayscale, their NAV, okay, which is net asset value. And negative is good. So let's go over to Grayscale right now and check it out. So here's Grayscale. Look, premium to discount 2, net asset value. It is negative. That is good. That is very, very good. Let's go on over to IBIT and let's look at IBIT. We're checking out IBIT right now. I don't know if you can see this because it's even small on my screen, but I want to show you something. In the meltdown on Friday, October 10th, IBIT 74.2 billion in inflows. Okay, IBIT was on a 9-day inflow streak. This is after the investment product pulled in 74.2 million on Friday, while other funds either recorded outflows or no new flows for the day. IBIT, the major BlackRock holding company, all right, pulled in more money. All right, since September 30th, IBIT has seen over 4.4 billion added to its reserves. Its best day during the period was October 6th, when investors added 970 million to the product's reserves. Now, between IBIT and between Grayscale, now Grayscale is quite interesting because Grayscale makes you hold for a 90-day period. You can't sell it. So when you're in, you're locked in. All right, for 90 days. It's a unique type of way of actually investing into Bitcoin. They have incredible great returns. So Grayscale itself is a negative, which is good, which means that right now there's an arbitrage opportunity and ETF demand is returning. It hasn't really left. This is a bullish accumulation. So now we're not chasing candles anymore. Now we're starting to look at flows. And now let's look at overall funding. If overall funding is still negative, that is good. Let's check it out. Let's go check out overall funding. Right here, overall funding, negative. Bitcoin, negative. It's great. It means that spot Bitcoin holders, people that really hold the coin, okay, are actually the value is really there. So in other words, perpetual futures, like the people that are trading the futures on leverage, the real holders are greater than them because that's why the funding is negative. Okay, so this is very, very important. So we got to remember what's going on here. We got to look for counterparty risk. So that's where we look at Coin, Mara, Riot, and this I keep forgetting this name. I'm not really familiar with CleanSpark, but we got to constantly look at this. So if you start to see these dropping, and Bitcoin's kind of stable, let's say Bitcoin's trading at 110, and you start seeing these products, these stocks falling off hard, there's a problem. If they drop harder than Bitcoin, it is complete fear. If they stabilize, if these stocks stabilize. Okay, now we're at a 0.618 retrace, which is very, very good for coin. All right, we could drift down to the 50, even perhaps even down. Look at these gaps. We could fill these gaps down to the 0.382 fib, and then we can get the return. This is all fine. The only way that things are really shaky is if we break this first support line, and then we come down to this line. That's when things are really, really shaky. However, if we stay in this area, it means the risk is contained. The stress is contained. Same things happening with these other stocks. I keep calling them coins. They're actually equities. So hang on. Back at holdings. Okay, fine. It is fine until if I come on down into this area. Really, a warning would be a break of 26. Actually, I would say 28 would be a warning. Where's 28? All right, I'll go 27. 27, that would be a warning that we're retracing deeper down towards, like, say, 22. But this would all be normal, all right? The only way this thing would be really, really a problem is if we broke down through 19. That would be a problem. That would mean that it's dropping harder. That would mean that, again, more fear. But if we can get a containment and then a slight rebound from starting on Monday, we start getting, all right, I would expect a little drop further. There's still going to be a lot more fear. But then, say by Tuesday or Wednesdays, we start getting a rebound in these guys. Then we're talking that, okay, everything is contained. The stress is contained. Everything's good. Also, you could look at on-chain stables, like net redemptions would equal stress, net issuance would equal there's a tailwind growing again. Now, that's going to take a little while to also pick up, okay? Basis on funding, we just showed you that. Flat prices equal leverage is cleared. There's going to be a room to rally, all right? So we got flat prices in Bitcoin right now. We get persistent negative funding into support. Like, in other words, we get negative funding, which we have, and the price is driving downward. It's going to be a fuel for a squeeze. That's good. So that's good. So in other words, what I'm saying is, if we get the market participants to actually drop Bitcoin down into the lower levels, we still have negative funding. That's going to be a short squeeze, man. And that's good. So everything's good. So we're tying everything back to funding, and we're tying everything back to these stocks, these equities. So we got IBIT that flips, to outflows. Then we got a problem. We got Grayscale flips to outflows. We got a problem. But really, IBIT's going to be the canary in the coal mine, because, as I said, Grayscale doesn't allow you to get out. If you're in, you're in. But IBIT allows you to get out. So we got to watch IBIT carefully. Right now, we had net inflows on a day that the market bled. It's good. It's good news. All right. So we're gonna ride you through this. Don't worry. That's what I'm telling you. Get into our pro group. We don't just look at candles, man. We look at overall everything. Okay? I mean, I have the experience of an institutional trader. I've been there. I've seen this stuff before. A lot of stuff that we did was like, you could do very, very simply. And I'm trying to show you the simplest way to you do it. I mean, you could have economists come in with, graphs and charts, and forget it, man. The simplest way to look at it is look at funding rates. Look at like what's going on in the ETF world. Look at Grayscale. Look at like all the different equities. And that's it. Make sure that with your number 2 pencil, you wrote those equities down, okay? And I'm going to give them to you real quick. So if you really need to write them down, look at COIN, COIN, MARA, MARA, RIOT, RIOT, and CLSK. That's what you need to look at. Watch those stocks. Next week, you'll be the smartest guy in the room. That's for sure. All right. Now, so with that said, and I know I'm 23 minutes into this, and I know you guys, oh, Tom, you're talking too much. With that said, we can say that Bitcoin has fooled the majority of the people out there. Price flirting with the weighted moving average again. The zone that built every major rally and millionaires. Every dip was a gift. Every panic a transfer of wealth. I just went over why. This is where conviction is tested and wealth is transferred. People, look, we said yesterday, the summertime soldiers, they're going to be gone. Okay, they, it was real easy. What people accumulate. Look at XRP. XRP up at 380 down to $1.25. It wiped everybody out. You think that those summertime soldiers, when everyone was talking XRP $5, I still believe XRP is going to $5. Yeah. All right. Is it delayed? Yeah, the train's delayed right now, but it's on its way. Okay. I have conviction. I didn't over leverage myself. No problem. I did sell out at 301. I bought some back. I'm going to buy some more back. My girl is crazy with XRP, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But anyway, but as it stands right now, the summertime soldiers are gone. Only the real players are left. And I'm glad that if you were with us, you survived. You survived. Okay. Make sure you get into our pro group, because we're telling you right now, Bitcoin's favorite quarter is back. It is back in force. Well, last time in October to December, okay, Bitcoin went into a rocket. Look, this is the same 3-month window just opened again. When we know the fourth quarter is going to be bullish. I just showed you, the proof that you had. Hopefully you watched it, you took some notes, you kind of understand what I'm getting at. We got to trade the plumbing, not just what's going on. Like the internals that are there, the internals are still good. Keep your eye on IBIT, keep your eye on Grayscale, keep your eye on those stocks I told you to watch. You will be the smartest traders in the bar. I can guarantee you that. So the crowd's panicking, the Bitcoin chart isn't. Extreme fear always feels like the end is near. Remember 73,000? It was just very, very close. How long ago was that? I mean, if I look at my charts in Bitcoin, when did we go down to that? We went down to 74,508. That was in May. Okay, when did it happen? It happened on April 7th. 2025, we were at 74,508. The world was coming to an end. Okay, the previous low was 76,606. Everybody was like, oh, if 76,606 breaks, it's going down to 40,000 again. We went down to 74. All the bears coming out of the woods. It's going down, right? Okay, so extreme fear always feels like that. That's why you don't trade fear. You trade charts. You trade technicals. You trade the plumbing, not the candles. Okay, so every time we hit the zone, Bitcoin was loading its next leg. It's happening again. Don't let emotions make the decisions. Markets are designed to exploit those motions. Get into our free trading group. We'll help you out. All right. Now, if we look overall, we can look. I'm going to speed it up. I understand, guys. It's 30 minutes in or 27 minutes in. I feel bad because people complain, oh, it's too much, but really, I got a lot to say. I'm trying to really make you the smartest traders in the room. Let's look at gold and silver because they are ripping up higher. Now, we explain this. Metals always move first. Okay, now we're looking at the chart right here. How come this? I got to refresh this chart for you guys. Much better looking chart. That's what I want to show you. Okay, metals always move first. Bitcoin, the digital gold, always follows. Always happens. Momentum is transferring from the physical to the digital, and you know what's going to come next. It's going to be rip roaring. Now, even Friday, gold took a reprieve. It dropped down, I think, to 3,000. 3,800 from 4,054. So it had a reprieve. Now, let's move on over to good old Ethereum. Everybody's like, oh, Ethereum. Ethereum's fine. We're going to get right into it right now. The bull flag in Ethereum is still in play. I told you it could actually trade down towards this pivot low there. It came within a cat's whisker of it, but now it's back up. It traded down from support 3,600. The gateway right now is at 4,000, right? So now we got to remember, we got a target on Ethereum short term at 6,800. Is it delayed? Yeah, because of what's going on in Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin starts to range, let's say Bitcoin ranges for a little while, and IBIT inflows stay strong, Ethereum is likely going to lead the first rotation higher because it's in the driver's seat next to Bitcoin. Now, look, Ethereum is already breaking 4,000 again, which is very, very good. Now, chart, I'm going to take you over to a chart where we're going to enter, like, I think that we're going to be ready for detonation. If we look at this chart with the latest liquidity grab that we have down in here, okay, it means that once we break up through this, Ethereum is going to be extremely ready for detonation. We got liquidity that is packed. We got the resistance right now that is going to be stop loss running. That's going to fuel this rally like no other. Okay, one clean breakout and it's entering price discovery mode. We're talking $10,000 targets and beyond. It's not going to be just a rally. After what happened, it is going to be glorious. It's going to rewrite history. Only the fearful, only the fearful that sold down into the discount area. Only the fearless will ride it to the end up to 11, 12, 15, 18,000. Get in our pro group. We will help you. Ethereum always moves with global liquidity, always. And we know what's happening with global liquidity, right? We know the next Fed rate cut is scheduled, as they would say in good old Britain. But right now, global liquidity is Ethereum's heartbeat, like Bitcoin, okay, like all crypto. It expands, Ethereum rallies. It contracts, Ethereum cools. Liquidity leads, price always follows. We're waiting for that next infusion, but really the movement upward is going to start before it's going to be priced in. So the movement upward in Ethereum is going to start way before any Fed rate cut. We're going to be seeing at 6,800 pretty quickly. Again, just hang tight with us. We'll lead you through it. Okay, so right now, let's look at, Ethereum, we're going to say it's walking I like to say it's walking the Johnny Cash line, but we could also say it's walking the ladder higher. Here's the Ethereum ladder. Right now, bullish retest happened, 4,000 breakout happening, 4,600 first level to get through, 4,800, 4,900, 5,000 next, $6,500 target, $8,000 target, $10,000 target. If we look at the rainbow, the Ethereum rainbow, we can see Ethereum's map to wealth is painted in colors. Every touch of the blue and green zones has been generational wealth. Okay? Every red zone, the exit signal before the movement back down. We're in a sweet spot. It's still early. It's still way undervalued. And as you see when we were walking the cash line, where it's going. Right there, walking the cash line, 6,500, 8,000, 10,000. All right, let's get on over to Bitcoin dominance, finishing up real now, getting into the final stretch. Ooh, look at Bitcoin. Ooh, no shortage of bears here right now. Ooh, right? They're going to get caught. Actually, I should say no shortage of bulls. Now, we know Bitcoin dominance broke its ascending wedge. Look at this spike. Look at this spike. Oh my gosh, man. Bitcoin drops, altcoins are going to get ready to explode. It's how every altcoin season begins. Right now, everything's okay. We just got to get through this. We're back. Bitcoin dominance sits at 59 right now. I mean, we were down at 57, like 90. We need to break below 57 and a half. I keep saying the same thing, but really, we know it broke the ascending wedge. The altcoin season basically has been switched on. But all right, so it's just going to be a little delayed. I know I'm tired of talking about altcoin season. When it happens, I'm going to be the first to pop the champagne. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're just basically waiting for it to happen. But right now, let's talk about our free group I keep alluding to. All right. You want to join us in trading, copy our trades. We drop insane alpha trading opportunities. You click this link right there. You'll be taken over to our Telegram group. We got a lot of Telegram groups going on. We got a lot of it. It's jam-packed in there. A lot of people are having a great time. They're making some money. It's really cool. All right. Now, if you're a lone wolf trader, and I can understand that, I'm a lone wolf myself. All right. You click this link right there, you'll be taken over to one of our brokers of choice, FOREX, okay, where they're giving away, I think, insane bonuses right now. I think zero fees for life or something like that. And also, we got BTCC giving away $500, okay, for all new clients. Another excellent platform you can use, fully trusted by our team. You want to level up your trading to the professional side? Think about getting your links here, joining, getting those bonuses. All right, let's just wrap it up right now. Let's go to our final chart where we can actually look at altcoins and see what's happening with the altcoins, with the Bitcoin dominance up like this. It's going to take a little while, folks, but we can see chart-wise exactly where we are. Bear trap happened once again. Bear traps build generational wealth. It's the same zone, same fear played out, same opportunity to get involved. Retail calls it a crash. Smart money says, oh my goodness, I just got a deal. And they call it accumulation. So history rewards the brave, not the loud. Okay, so get involved. Come into our pre-group. We'll walk you through it. We got some good altcoins that we're looking at. Now, remember, as I said, we got some problems. XRP's down 22%, BNB's down 6%. Don't panic. Come on into a free group. We'll give you levels, okay? Now, we got to wait for Bitcoin stability and ETF flow normalization before you can actually see some rotation happening. Right now, Bitcoin's all the rage, okay? Like we said, you got to watch the leaders like Link, ZEC, ARB. Once liquidity returns, we're going to start seeing some real good movements in those. All right, so remember, to wrap it up right now, what do you have to pay attention to? Come on, let me hear you. Let me hear you say it. Got to look at IBIT shares. Got to look at Grayscale shares, right? Could look at the chart of Grayscale. You can also look at what? You got to look at the NAV, right? You got to look at the NAV. Got to keep your eye on this. Premium to discount. You always want this to be negative or completely flat. That's good. Got to look at IBIT shares themselves, right? I turned you on to this one as a super secret little indicator. Right now, 66.20. You start seeing this price rise. You know that's good. You got to watch those individual stocks. Coin, Mara, right? The ones I just gave you. Just make sure you watch it, all right? Look, make sure. IBIT inflows equal institutional buying that is happening in the dips. Grayscale, if the discount starts widening, that's good. Okay, we want more. We want it to be negative, more negative. Okay, now if it starts actually clicking up, then we got de-risking. But right now, everything is looking good. Make sure that you come on over to X and you follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day, because we're crypto maniacs. Also, if you want to become a foreign exchange maniac like me, link is in the description right there. Please join my little FOREX channel. It's got 744 subs on it, trying to reach 1,000. Really appreciate it. So remember, what do you got to do? Well, you definitely have to trade with your head, not over it. You got to get into a pro group. I hope you survived this last meltdown, because all it was complete manipulation. And we showed you that yesterday. All right. Also, you have to do your own research, okay? Because I am just a trader like you. I do have some experience. I pointed you to some really good things today to check out and make sure you follow to help broaden your knowledge base. And also, as a short-term trader, you must always, always enjoy the party, but dance near the door. I will see you tomorrow when we got blue skies ahead. Cheers.